That sucks. Okay, well, just realized. No, that's not the Muschamp Hackers. That is me. Okay, you guys can probably hear me now. That's unfortunate, though. We've got this new camera, and I'm trying a different camera, but it says the camera does not support audio. I don't know. That's weird. It's very strange. Let me see. Let me try something real quick. See, now you're seeing two of me. But see, this side on the right does not support audio. That's interesting. That's unfortunate. Okay, we just got to go with the old camera, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. I hate this. I hate the way this looks, but it's all good. Either way, 843-790-3377. That is so weird. That is so weird that I can't just do the camera. That's strange. That's very strange. That's very strange. I don't know. I'll have to play around. I switched out with the Logitech and the other camera, so I don't know. That's weird. That's very, very strange. I'm surprised you guys could not hear me because my audio looked like it was coming through. So let's see. John Edward, negative crane on today. John, just let Jake do his thing. Sorry, guys. I'm a little flustered here getting everything figured out. So, yeah, we will have Jake Crane on at 12:15. We will be getting him on in about 10 minutes or so. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in again. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. We're live here on the Daily Crow. You guys let me know if you're having any more technical issues, any more sound issues. Here's what the camera is supposed to look like. So you can obviously tell it's a lot different. Hello, now you're seeing two of me. But if I take That's so weird. I don't know. I'm surprised you guys can't hear me with that camera. Either way. I see Brandon Wagner, Luke RJ, John Edward, Noah Johns, Brennan M, Aaron, Chase Floyd, Todd Smith, C. Youngblood. Let's see. Tony Sharp, Stephen Boardwell, Jonathan Lee. What's up? Appreciate y'all tuning in. Yeah, very weird. Very weird that you guys can't hear me with that other camera. I don't know. Again, I'll have to probably download the Logitech software and play around with the camera. I don't know. We're just figuring it out as we go, guys. The joys in the journey. So either way, we're going to get Jake Crane on the show about 12:15 or so, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. We are taking your questions, your comments, your calls, and the phone line is open here on a Friday, TGIF. Again, I want to say thank you to all those who came out to Carolina Ale House in Augusta, Georgia. Had a really, really good time. It's crazy, though, after we've done and I might change out the camera in between breaks, if you will, but it's crazy how we've done the new camera. It makes this camera look so just not clear. Justin Langford, what's up? What's going on? Monty Lee joining the baseball staff. Yeah, so a lot of stuff happened yesterday after we got off the Daily Crow and effectively after I published the podcast. Monty Lee coming home, man. Love it. Huge. Absolutely love the fact that Monty Lee is back in the fold with Carolina baseball. I'll say this because I know a lot of fans just see it and they say, oh, my God, Clemson's head coach joining us. I know first off, it is a unique situation. It's a very strange, unique situation. But I've got a unique vantage point because, man, like I said, I was class of 09 in high school, went and played college baseball. But the point is I played with a lot of guys that were recruited by or played for Monty Lee. And so, you know, those guys, I've heard nothing, guys, but glowing reviews about Monty Lee from all of those guys. You know what I mean? Everybody who's ever been recruited by him, played for him, they love him. They would go to battle for him. They go to war for him. So love having him on. Love having Monty Lee back on staff. I don't know how long exactly he's going to be on staff, but I think it's going to immensely help with recruiting in the state if he does stay on staff for an extended period of time. So very, very excited to get Monty Lee back in the fold. He's also a hitting guy. So we could use all the help we can get on hitting. We could use all the help we can get. And really excited to see the impact he makes for Carolina baseball on the offensive side. What does it mean for the 2023 season, guys? I don't know. I mean, again, it was really surprising to see Coach Kaye step down. It was surprising to see him just abruptly, again, leave South Carolina. But in the process, you get Monty Lee. And Yeah, I got nothing but love for Monty. You know, it was always a rivalry kind of Clemson thing, obviously, but I never had disdain for Monty Lee specifically. And again, that just goes back to everybody I've ever talked to about the guy. Everybody I've ever had discussions with about Monty Lee, they've got nothing but great things to say about him. And again, I think that's saying a lot. So welcome home, Monty Lee. Obviously, he was there from 2003 to 2008, being Ray Tanner's right-hand man when the Gamecocks were building those basher teams, right? Smoke Havens, Darnell Disher, all that good stuff. And I think certainly he'll be an asset for us yet again. Yeah, Stacy says, only thing that matters is that he can help us win. Yeah, and that's what it'll come down to. You know, I had a lot of people telling me, well, Chris, what about if this saves Kingston's job? And I'm like, guys, the only thing that's going to save Kingston's job is winning. That's it. You got to win. If you don't win, none of it matters anyways, right? So they know that. He knows that. But exciting to get Monty Lee back home for sure. Exciting to get Monty Lee back home. Really, really pumped for him to come home where he belongs. We'll put him that way. Yeah. And that's the funniest thing. You're seeing some upstate folks saying that, oh, you're taking our sloppy seconds. It's like, guys, you took our sloppy seconds first. Monty Lee was a Gamecock well before he was a Tiger. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are we talking about? And that's kind of a bold statement coming from a fan base that has Brad Scott on its football staff. So interesting. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your weekend. We're getting a bit of a false fall, I feel like right now. It's a bit unseasonably cool in the city. But either way, feels good to be here. Yeah, and I think Tony Sharp, certainly Ray Tanner had a lot to do with that. I would have to think so, Tony. I would have to think that Ray Tanner had a lot to do with it, no doubt. No doubt. Guys, again, we have Jake Crane of Crane & Company, my good buddy, joining me at 12:15. Yeah, appreciate J.C. Sherbert and Phil Mullinax for having me on their show just a little bit ago. We jumped on from about 11:30 to about 11:55 or so, just talking Gamecocks football. Obviously, South Carolina will scrimmage for the second and final time tomorrow night, by the way. It's a night scrimmage at Williams-Brice Stadium. So, of course, we will be staying very, very in tune with that, locked in with that. Going to be a lot of fun. Going to be really, really cool to hear what Shane Beamer and company have to say. Of course, I think it was yesterday that Pete Limbo and both coordinators, all the coordinators spoke yesterday. Things coming out of fall camp, guys. We sit now just 15 days away till toe meets leather. 15 days away. How about that? 2 weeks. 2 weeks away until toe meets leather. By the way, so my good buddy Tim Hill brought up the point of, hey, could South Carolina possibly get upset by Georgia State? Steve Fink injected himself in the conversation and said that since the turn of the century, Gamecocks football has a 49-4 mark against teams not currently in a Power 5 conference. So for teams outside of the Power 5, the Gamecocks are 49-4. So you feel pretty good. You feel pretty good about that season opener. You feel pretty good about that Georgia State game in week 1. Jonathan Lee, Xavier committed last night. First 4-star D tackle so far. Hope we get Hardy, Harbor, and you. Yeah, I'm just going to say you because I don't even want to butcher his last name. But recruiting momentum continues, my friend. Recruiting momentum continues. Brian Dean says, Chris, you concerned that we're only favored by 12 over Georgia State? I'm not concerned. Vegas is Vegas, Brian. But I think it just goes to show that I think Vegas would not be surprised if this is a 10-point game, a close game, right? Because of the Georgia State running game. I think also from the national perspective, listen, guys, from the national perspective, a lot of folks probably don't even know who Antoine Wells is. They don't know who Corey Rucker is. They don't know who Devontae Reed is. Like they don't probably even care. They just want to see it on the field, right? They look at South Carolina last year as, hey, at its best, at some of its high moments, it beat UNC, it beat Florida, it beat Auburn. But some of its low moments, it should have lost to Vandy. It could have lost to ECU. It could have lost to Troy. Got blown out by A&M, Georgia, Clemson, right? So I think that's what a lot of these folks see. And so the 12-point spread, I thought it was going to be a little bit higher. I thought it was going to be around 17 or 18 or maybe 19 points. But, it is what it is. And so for some of you, you'll say it's free money. Does it concern me, though? No. Does it concern me? No. You want to start earning more respect? Go out there and cover a spread, right? You can earn respect nationally by covering a spread, right? Jeff Gullidge says, come on, September the 3rd, get here already. Man, you don't want it to be the preseason forever, Jeff? You don't just want to talk about it and break it down and dissect it forever, my guy? I figured you might. Todd Smith with the super chat. Todd, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Todd. Appreciate you, Todd. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see. AJ Bowers says by 2024 or 2025, that 2023 class will be a very good team. That's the hope. Hey, AJ, that's why you recruit, right? That's the hope. That's the expectation. That is the hope, and that is the expectation. I'm going to go ahead, by the way, and send our guy Jake the link. So probably going to get some thoughts from him on this Big Ten CBS thing. We're probably going to talk, guys, a lot of national college football when it comes to these Jake Crane spots, because Jake obviously very well versed on national show he does with Crane and Company. So really excited to get his takes on everything, and just from SEC, South Carolina, national though, of course. Let's see. I'm just trying to go through their Twitter page and see, like, what have they been talking about? Is there anything maybe I missed? Obviously, Deshaun Watson, big topic of conversation. I don't want to get into it. I really have no interest in getting into that and all. Okay, cool. Anyways, we got Jake Crane on in a couple of minutes. AJ Bowers says you're going to be, what, section 12? Yeah, I'll be there. Not sure exactly what section yet, but I will be there. Joshua Coker, we'll get one final question, then we'll get my guy Jake on the show. He says, do you think at any point this season South Carolina breaks in the top 25? I will say yes. I mean, listen, I've got them going 8-4. So if you go 8-4, you're in the top 25. I will say yes, they do. On that note, I think he's ready. Let's go ahead and get my buddy Jake Crane the show. Jake, what's up, man? How you doing?
What? Doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. Beautiful Friday, TGI. How have things been rolling over at Crane and Company? I know I see you guys on social media, busy as always.
Yeah, man, it's been going great. So we're going to be in drive time starting next week. We've typically been going from 2 to 3 Central. We're going to be going from 6:30 to 8 Central, so 7:30 to 9 Eastern. Really excited about it, man. Getting in drive time. We're adding another 30 minutes to the show. Really, first hour is going to be all football. Last 30 minutes is going to be a lot of betting and fantasy stuff. We just did a deal with DraftKings, so really excited about that. And look, man, it's football season. If you're not excited, check your pulse.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to first get your thoughts on that new CBS Big Ten deal. Thoughts on that's going to be weird, right? Here in the CBS theme with a Rutgers and, I don't know, Illinois game upcoming at 3:30.
Yeah, it's like watching your mom kiss another guy. It's just weird. But like, I don't understand. How can you not come up with new music? Like, again, it's I'm not over here trying to just dog them, but I said on social media the other day, it's just weird to me. It's like Harry Potter and Voldemort teaming up. Like, I just look at it and it's just, I don't know, man. It's like having two left hands. Look, I'm so excited about watching Rutgers play Illinois when they beat them 10-3. That's going to be great. I think everybody's excited about that. But you got to give your hats off to the Big Ten, man. Kevin Warren was a running joke during COVID, and he should have been with the way that he handled it. But CBS was fleecing the SEC when it came down to money in that contract, and obviously the Big Ten got everything out of them. And it's not just CBS; it's NBC, it's Peacock. I mean, it's basically every channel outside of ESPN. It's just weird to me, man. It's a weird look, but I guess it is what it is.
Jake, how does it feel to know that every time you come on the show, there's going to be somebody that comments about Auburn?
Dude, well, the funny part is, like I'll tell Chase, mad about Auburn. You realize y'all beating Gus Malzahn is one of the reasons my show blew up. I was one of the first people to say that if South Carolina beat Auburn, because I was really just doing Auburn, a little bit of the SEC, that Gus Malzahn was fired. So, I would rather say thank you. I get it. I'm not picking South Carolina to go undefeated this year. I get it. But listen, I embrace the hate. I love it. It's good. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm on the Beamer train. I think he's the right guy. And at the end of the day, it's a long-term play. You look at the way he's recruiting. We had Steven Garcia on earlier this week. I got to get you on here soon. And we're just talking about stacking the recruiting classes. But my 5 and 7 take is look at the schedule. We can go through the schedule right now. I mean, look, again, the starters for South Carolina are a lot better, but it's the depth. At the end of the day, it just is what it is.
Yeah. And like you said, man, it's a battle of attrition. And, we were talking with J.C. Sherbert of the Big Spur 24/7 Sports yesterday. And he even talked about when Spurrier was there, they tell him all the time, like, hey, our top 33 could beat anybody. But it's after you get past that, that's the difference. Yep. And that's where, like, the Bamas and the Georgias. And it brings me to blue chip ratio. I'm sure that's something you're very familiar with. And it's interesting, Jake, because I know you follow recruiting closely, and the Gamecocks just got a big commitment yesterday, 4-star defensive lineman, and they vault up. I think they're 17th in the ratings, which is crazy. Even when you're top 20 in recruiting, the SEC is so deep and so good. You might be 17th nationally, but you're 9th in the SEC, right? It's just like, it's crazy how good the SEC is in recruiting. But when it comes to blue chip ratio, I would assume you're a big believer in that, right? And I feel like you look at that, which says what, 50%, I think, is the threshold. You have to have over 50% blue chippers, 4- and 5-star players, to realistically have a shot to compete for a national title. And that's what statistics have said. I believe that's the number. And I feel like fans, when it comes to recruiting rankings, what's so interesting, I say this all the time, stars aren't everything. They're certainly not. It's an imperfect system, right? It's just like anything else that comes with ratings. It's an imperfect system. But the blue chip ratio exists for a reason. And the only fans that say stars don't matter and beat their chest that stars don't matter are fans who are fans of teams who don't recruit worth a shit. I mean, that's just the way I view it.
No, it's look, and the answer is always somewhere in the middle. But when again, it's just math. I mean, obviously you look at the 5-star guys, most of the 5-star guys are going to work out. Most of the 4-star guys are going to work out. I said the other day on the show that, like when Alabama, they just got a 3-star offensive lineman, right? Those are the ones that worry me, because Alabama getting a 3-star, typically those guys end up vaulting up the rankings. But to kind of go a little bit further, you look at the blue chip ratio up front, because that's where the game's won and lost. And that's why getting guys on the edge, defensive ends, guys that can play 3-tech, guys that can disrupt from the inside out, offensive tackles, guards that are athletic enough to bump out to play tackle if somebody goes down. A lot goes into it. If you recruit based off stars, look at what Randy Shannon tried to do at Miami. That didn't work out very well. It needs to be a good mix. But you got to trust your evaluation. That's what it comes down to. You got to be the one that is able to look at it and say, you know what? Take the stars away. When I was in it, we used to do a thing where we'd sit down in the war room and we'd have a couple guys that we'd throw on there, and they wouldn't give them an intro. It wouldn't be like, hey, this kid's out of, Pocono, whatever. He's a 4-star. Sometimes they just throw a guy's tape on there, and then you'd have to kind of guess what it was. And a lot of times it was kind of on the opposite end. So while it's obviously great to get 5 stars, that's not the end all be all. But just over time, the more 5 stars and 4 stars you get, they're going to be better. They're not going to miss that many evaluations.
No doubt. I guess we haven't had you on, Jake, since the whole Mark Stoops thing happened with him taking a shot at Shane Beamer. I think you talked about that. Maybe you talked about that with Steven Garcia. Either way, though, it took. It kind of became a national storyline a little bit, at least in college football circles, when Stoops made the comment about the goofy sunglasses and dancing around and climate versus culture. What was your overall take on that? Because again, it felt very out of left field. When I first watched the clip, I was like, I don't think that was a shot. It's just kind of whatever, just kind of a base statement. And then you figure out when it was said and the timing lining up, and it's like, oh, well, this was like literally 24 hours after the clip went viral, after Gamecock football posted it. And so it was like, okay, I think this was actually pretty pointed at South Carolina. What were your overall thoughts on what Mark Stoops had to say about Shane Beamer and his climate versus culture comment?
I never like when you take shots at other schools. I think he was trying to cause a distraction after the beef him and Cal had. Just look at the timeline. I mean, after Calipari said the thing about Kentucky being a basketball school, which we all know that it is, there was a lot of heat. Him and Mark Stoops are going back and forth. It's all over Feinbaum. It's everywhere. Then all of a sudden, this distraction kind of comes out of left field. It's kind of like, hey, I'm showing you my right hand, but look at my left. Mark is obviously a very intense guy. Him and Shane Beamer go about it a different way. I just feel like you're adding problems where there shouldn't be problems. So why are you going to give a team bulletin board material? Obviously, Shane Beamer goes about social media a lot different way than Mark Stoops goes about social media. I just felt it was unnecessary. I mean, you always tell your players you don't want any distractions. Don't go on social media saying somebody sucks or this school's lame or something like that, yet you go out and do it. It's kind of the do as I say, not as I do. Was it that bad? No, I've seen a lot worse. Hell, just look at Jimbo and Saban this offseason. If you'd have told me that Nick Saban would have got reprimanded for being a distraction, I'd have put you on the first boat to Shutter Island. So, at the end of the day, it kind of is what it is, but it's just unnecessary.
I was going to say, are you surprised this energy is coming from Mark Stoops? I mean, like, where is this coming from? Like, he's done such a great job with Kentucky, 4 straight bowl wins. Dude, you want to talk about respect? They're getting picked to finish second in the East. Chris Doring's on SEC Network picking them to go 11-1. How much more respect do they need?
Yeah, and Travis, I know he said it before the Cal stuff, but it really blew up kind of right after it because, again, it's when it blows up, not when it's said. But here's my thing with Kentucky. I like Will Levis. I think he's got to be smarter with the ball. I think he's got that gunslinger mentality. He's a tough guy.
Didn't he lead the conference in interceptions or something like that?
He did. He had a couple games where it just snowballed too, like that. So because Will's a good player, I don't think we're giving Wan'Dale Robinson enough credit. Wan'Dale Robinson saved him a lot. You go back and look at some of the deep balls that he threw that Wan'Dale had to come back. Some of the short passes that Wan'Dale made 2 guys miss and then takes it to the house. Even in the red zone, Wan'Dale was held. But look what he's doing in the NFL. If Kentucky's got somebody outside, and I'm looking at the roster, I don't know if they'll be able to recreate it. I think it's going to be a heavy run-to-pass offense. Now, not Eddie Grand's offense that was basically, like in the Stone Age before the forward pass was invented. But I like Kentucky. I like what Stoops is building there. They're good up front. I got Tennessee, in my opinion, finishing second in the East over there. I got them going 5-3. I mean, shoot, there was another guy I saw that had, Kentucky going 10-2. I'm just not seeing it.
I'm not either. I think that I feel like in regards to the Gamecock circles, I like to think I put as much, if not more, respect on Kentucky football than anybody because it's like, hey, they've beaten you 7 of the last 8. What can you really say about them? Again, we had my good friend J.C. Sherf on the show yesterday. He went as far as to say that, South Carolina has been owned the last 9 years by Kentucky, but Kentucky is frauds, and they have been owned by frauds. So I was like, okay. I mean, wherever you want to go with it, that's totally fine. Speaking of Will Levis, by the way, Jake, I just can't get over this. Like, with the Levis hype, I think Levis is a good quarterback. Everything I've heard from the whatever you take from the Manning camp or whatever, just the preseason, that Levis looks like a real dude. But I just look at the Levis hype versus the Rattler disrespect. The math just doesn't math for me, my guy. Not just from you, by the way, but from many, many parties.
Yeah, and I want to say this. I think Spencer's going to be fine. I just don't know if he's going to be as elite as – I mean, you got him as the second – I think Jordan Rodgers had him as the second-best quarterback in the SEC. I think it's unfair to Spencer, to be honest with you. But when I look at Levis, we had Jim Nagy, executive president of the Senior Bowl. They do a really good job scouting. They got a whole team. He's like, the thing with Will is he's got all the physical tools. A lot of it is the mental part, and then not throwing balls up for grabs. Not being crazy outside of the pocket. Because if you look at Levis, most of the problems he has, and a lot of times, guys are able to extend plays outside of the pocket that aren't, true pocket passers per se. They tend to have more problems outside of the pocket. So when he starts improvising, that's when he gets in trouble. He's got to start taking what's there. There's an old saying on offense and playing quarterback. You never go broke making a profit, whether that's throwing the check down, whether that's throwing the swing, whether it's throwing the hitch. Let's get our ass in 2nd and 5 instead of taking a chance on 1st and 10 and throwing a pick on our side of the field. You got to take that next step. Every quarterback has to take that next step. And, I always say this, quarterbacks and offensive coordinators are the greediest people on the planet. A buddy of mine, Dave Tollefson, he was Strahan's backup for the Giants. With 2 Super Bowls, and I used to ask him, which quarterbacks gave you the most trouble? And he was like, well, it was Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, but that's not because of why you probably think it is. He was like, the reason is they'll sit and throw the check down all the way down the field. They'll take the slant, they'll take the hitch. They are not going to be like, you know what, we've thrown 3 short passes, so let's just chunk one deep. A lot of OCs, when they call plays, the defense may be playing back. You may have 2 high and they're playing really soft, and there's a lot of room on the outside. There's a lot of room on the inside with the dig, crossers, stuff like that. But the quarterbacks want to take shots. When you realize that sometimes it's better to be the tortoise than the hare, it really helps not only your completion percentage, but your efficiency overall as the quarterback.
I love that. No, I agree with you 110%. Hey, Jake, let's move off the Gamecocks and more SEC ball and this NIL stuff. Texas A&M, I think I just saw Maybe this was just rumored that they offered a kid like $15 million or something. But we're seeing NIL over the place. Tennessee's giving a quarterback $9 million. Miami's giving a quarterback $8 million, what have you. And they're not even all 5-stars. Some of them are just 4-star guys. My question to you is this. I know you've talked about this a lot on your show, and I think this is something you could just spend hours on in talking about. Do you like the direction college football is going? Because a lot of my audience, or at least some, will call in and say, Chris, the game's becoming less likable for me because of the things that are happening. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my biggest problem is the way they rolled it out. That they just rolled out NIL with no guardrails. Anytime you try and build the parachute on the way down, it's not going to work. And you've had conference realignment. We've had a bunch of rules changes. You have NIL and the transfer portal all at the same time. What did you expect? Like, did you expect this to go smooth? What worries me the most is not NIL for high school kids, because that's going to work itself out. That market will end up working itself out when some of these kids go bust. But it's NIL in the transfer portal, because that's true free agency. That's a proven commodity. I would much rather spend my money on a kid that I've watched play 2 years at a high level. He knows what to expect. I know what I'm going to expect from him. He's not going to be overwhelmed by having to go to a college campus and live a new lifestyle. That's what worries me. But the other thing, what separates college football from the NFL to me is that local feel. The cities aren't Detroit, Philadelphia, New York, LA. It's Gainesville. It's Columbia. It's Auburn. These cities live and thrive off of these programs, and it's starting to lose that local feel. And I think if we lose that local feel, and the game gets more pure the lower you go. It's more pure in college than it is in the NFL. It's more pure in high school than it is in college, and going down like that. So I feel like if we lose the local feel of college, we're really just running the G League. You know what I would rather have happen? If you want to make money, or you don't like going to class, or you feel like you're oppressed going to college, then don't play. Then go play in the USFL. Go play in the XFL. Use that, because if we lose that local feel, I really feel like we're going to lose a lot of what makes college football college football.
Yeah, I think you make a lot of great points. I would say to this, though, the NIL and the portal, what do you think about the people, excuse me, that say it's only helping the big boys? It's only helping the big schools. When you look at South Carolina, who benefited greatly from the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm. The rich are always going to get richer. It's just like in everything in life. When politicians make decisions on taxes, they're going to get richer. Like that's just part of the deal. That is life. That's what we have to deal with. You look at what Alabama did, getting Eli Ricks, getting Osteen from Vanderbilt, Harrell from Louisville. You're just supplementing spots that you would have to hope maybe a high school kid or a kid that's a true sophomore that sat behind a guy would be able to fill. But look, the rich are always going to get richer in any of these rules. That's what, to be honest with you, Chris, that's what scares the hell out of me about them messing with the March Madness, the college basketball tournament. They're talking about taking away automatic qualifiers from these small conferences. Like we have to make sure that while the rich get richer, we're still being smart. And I don't know if we are, because, again, we rolled it all out at once. And what would you expect?
Yeah, my question really with portal and NIL is, again, like you mentioned before, Jake, I mean, you've opened Pandora's box. The genie's out the bottle. Like, there's no going back. So when does it stop? You know what I mean? Like what's the end game here? I guess it'll always be evolving and growing, but, like, what's stopping, I guess, college football specifically from turning into, paid professional ball like the NFL?
Well, the problem is, and we had Jim Jordan on the show a couple weeks ago to ask him this, like, what can Congress do? And he's like, I'm going to be honest with you, nothing. Because the minute we tried to pass something, we're going to get hit with more antitrust lawsuits and lawsuits in general than you've ever seen. So what I think has to happen, I mean, the NCAA comes out and says, we need help from member schools on NIL violations. What? That's like asking the murderer who did it. Like, what kind of theory is that? So I think what's going to happen is they're going to have to slow bleed something. It's going to have to be approved by everyone. But, Chris, it's not going to be approved by everyone. Some of these coaches are going to have their players' backs and say, you know what? No, he wants to make this money. He can make this money. I don't know how you do it. I don't think there's the easy answer. I think they're still trying to figure out how to do it.
Now, I saw an article, Jake, from ESPN talking about the college football playoff is mulling breaking football out of the NCAA, no longer being under the NCAA? Your thoughts on that? Have you heard a lot about on that, or you think there's some real legs on that conversation?
I think it's definitely – it was a 5-minute conversation, but all they had to do was open the door. And now that they've opened the door – because, again, that board of managers, it's like 11 chancellors and presidents. What's going to happen – and I think it could happen before this 14 playoff contract is up in 2025 – I think you're going to get a breakaway from the Power 5. And what I said, to me, it's pretty simple. Now, I know they're going to expand the playoff to 12. That's probably where they're going to start. But we've had UAB's head coach on. We've had Georgia Southern's head coach on. They want a separate championship for the group of 5. So why don't we just let the Power 5, which will probably turn into the Power 4 here soon, be run by the college football playoff? Get the NCAA out of it. They're corrupt as can be. Let them handle the group of 5. Group of 5 can have their playoff, a championship, smaller schools, smaller budgets, but you're going to see the Power 5 lead the NCAA. I think you'll have this same board of managers and a commissioner, and I would not be shocked if that commissioner was Greg Sankey.
Yeah, dude, I think the group of 5 having their own playoff is the most no-brainer move of all time, because I've said forever that, I not to go really off the rails, but growing up, we had a like a mountain condo house, whatever, in Beach Mountain, North Carolina, which is like 30 minutes from Boone, North Carolina, right? So I would go to some App State games, and we had a soft spot for App State. So I remember watching like Armani Edwards and those teams win 3 straight national titles. And I understand the money side and what it does for the school, but it's like when a team like App State went from where they were to the level they're at now, it's just like they're never going to win a national championship again. Like App State's not playing for the same trophy as Alabama. Georgia Southern, they're not playing for that same trophy as Alabama. They're just not.
Yeah, and Chris, you can still play crossover games in the non-conference. Right. Like you can still be broken away from the NCAA and have App State go play Miami and stuff like that. Like you got to find a way to still do that. That way the smaller schools can still get their cut because that's why they're playing the games. I feel like we should have that door open. Why not? We're already doing it. It's not like it's a travel problem. The only way I see that not working is if we continue to add teams to conferences, because when you add teams to conferences, you have to add conference games. You can't add teams. So like, for example, the SEC goes to 16. You go from 8 conference games to 9 conference games. So the more teams you add, the more conference games you have. And eventually, if we're looking at 2 mega conferences down the road that has 25 to 30 teams, you're just playing an in-conference schedule, which we saw during the COVID years. So there's precedent there. That's what worries me. I don't want the 2 mega conferences. I still love seeing the App States go play the Miamis, the Georgia Southerns play the Bamas. So we got to find a way to keep that.
How about Georgia State playing South Carolina week 1? Sean Elliott. Hey,
look, scary.
Yeah, scary. We're going to get a lot more into that, Jake, over the next week or two. But side note, Shane Beamer has mentioned something previously about having a preseason in college football. He's like, we're the only sport that doesn't have any sort of preseason games or even scrimmages or anything like that. What do you say? Are you for or against a quote-unquote preseason in college football?
I'm not really for. I understand where Shane's coming from, because again, it's a lot easier to evaluate. Playing a spring game is one thing. You've been going against that offense, or you've been going against that defense. It's your buddies on the team, but you really find out about guys, and this is what they use the NFL preseason for. You really find out about guys when that jersey on the other side's different, when the lights are bright, when you don't know when they make a call what that call is deep down, even though you won't admit it. That's how because some guys are great in practice and they shy away from it in the game. Some guys aren't great in practice and show up in the game. So I can see where he's coming from. You know what? Instead of having like a true preseason game, why not just have some of those scrimmages, those simulated scrimmages like you see in the NFL? Why not do that? I think you'd get more out of that. Let's go a little inside drill against another team. Let's do some one-on-ones against some other guys. We can go some 11-on-11 thud, maybe make some of it live. But I don't think we need a whole preseason slate.
I feel like the TV folks would be all over that, man. Like if we had like preseason,
of course they would.
It would be the stupidest. Like I mean, on one hand, I'm like, hey, it's more content, more games, we got more stuff to talk about. Great, but it would be like the stupidest games, because what happens if your star player got hurt in a preseason game? I mean, the pressure's too high for these coaches to even put it at risk. It just.
Well, yeah. What happens, Chris? What happens if all of a sudden, you're you're Auburn and you're like, we're going to scrimmage Troy, and you lose the drill or something. But like but you're playing with your threes. Like that would go just, I think it presents so many problems. Let's go simulated scrimmages, man. Let's go good on good. Let's get the evaluation. Let's see who's ready. Let's see who's not. Everybody stay off the ground for the most part. You can do your one-on-one pass rush too. Hell, let's get after it, man. So I like a small slice of it. I don't like the whole pie.
Yeah, I love the joint practice idea like they do in the NFL. But, yeah, I think definitely with the games, like you mentioned, you just open up a can of worms that you probably don't want to get into. Jake, this has been incredible. Last thing before I get you out of here, you have a really unique vantage point because where was it you coached Samford? Is that right? You coached at Samford?
Yeah, I was at South Alabama.
South Alabama. That's right.
Iowa, yep.
That's right. But so the reason I bring that up, the reason I bring that up, though, you coached at Williams-Brice Stadium. I'm not sure a lot of people in our audience know that. Give people your Willie B experience. And I think you said you maybe had a brief convo with Spurrier or somebody on staff or what have you. But you were on that South Alabama. What was that, 2014, I think, the Gamecocks? Or,
yep.
2014.
It was.
Just talk about your Willie B experience.
Man, it was one of my favorite places we went to play. That, Tennessee, San Diego State, Mississippi State. And what stood out to me, because I had never been to Columbia before that. And the cool story, coaches are out there before while everybody's warming up, and Spurrier's there at the 50-yard line. And I go up to him, and we were having a decent year. Y'all were having a decent year. I went up to him, was like, Coach Spurrier, just want to introduce myself. And he looked at me and goes, hey, man, y'all take it easy on us today now. And I was like, okay, Coach, yeah, whatever. But, the thing that stood out to me, and being a guy from Auburn that's watched the Eagle flight, Tennessee running through the tee, all that stuff, the cowbells at State, San Diego State, I mean, everybody's just kind of hanging out. But the towels, like going nut. It was so loud, and all the white towels being swung at one time. I just looked around and was like, dude, this is what it's about. It's an unbelievable place. That's why South Carolina should have a high standard. South Carolina should expect to win. And you have guys like me that are doubting them a little bit this year, but are buying them in the long term. That's fine, though. South Carolina fans, you should be mad at me for that. You should get after my ass for that, because you can win at South Carolina because y'all love football. Y'all know football. Y'all know what it's like to win, and y'all are going to get back there. So I think it's one of the coolest places to play. The atmosphere was electric. It was loud as hell. It was so loud, the holes in your helmets, it sounded like somebody was whistling. And that's why I'm excited, because a good South Carolina is good not only for the SEC, but good for college football, because you guys actually care.
Jake, what's it like being on staff or on a team like a South Alabama or a smaller team going in, taking on like an SEC team, right? Because, you want to say, because you have such a different, and I know you know this obviously because what you do right now, you have such a different vantage point of these games looking at it from the outside versus being in the building. Because everybody in that building expects to win, right? I mean, you'd hope, like, don't get on this bus if you don't expect to win, right? Don't go on the trip if you don't think we're going to win. Being on the outside, we look at it as like a 21-point spread, 28-point spread, this, that, whatever. But, like, so when you're on, like, say, a South Alabama and you're playing an SEC team, like, how difficult is it to not allow all that outside noise, I guess, to creep in your head? Like, oh, we're just going to get blown out. We're going to get killed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it just if you let that seep in, it's like, God, like, what's the point of even playing the game almost?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. It was a lot easier to get up for South Carolina than it was La Monroe. I mean, that schedule comes out, and some of these guys that came to South Alabama, I mean, we had Danny Woodson, who was a Bama transfer, Marvin Shin, who was a Bama transfer. I mean, in Mobile, where we were, the way we recruited it, it's stacked with talent. So we knew we had good players, but they look at that and you're like, you know what? You didn't offer me. I'm about to go show you why. Those are the ones that guys are headbutting lockers for. And a lot of it depends on your culture. You expect to win, but we got on the bus ready to go kick somebody's ass. Like, we didn't get on the bus going, oh, we're so excited to be here. No, we're coming here. We're going to come in your house. We're going to take the food out of your fridge. We're going to sit down in your chair, turn the TV on, and have your wife pour me a beer. That was the mindset of it. So it was actually easier. And as a coach, especially as a young coach, those are the ones that you want, those atmospheres. You want to see what it's like. You want those experiences. So it was a lot easier getting guys up to go play at South Carolina and Tennessee and stuff like that. The trick is trying to make every game the same, regardless if you're Alabama, regardless if you're South Alabama. It's not about the team you're playing. It's how much better you can be each week. Now, you make a game plan and you adjust your scheme accordingly to what you have to do for them. But the minute you start worrying too much about who you're playing is the minute you're not worrying enough about yourself. And if you don't worry enough about yourself, it's not going to matter. You may come out and have a good drive early. You may come out and look good early, but over 4 quarters, eventually gravity is going to take hold. So you can't panic. You can't get too excited. You can't play outside of yourself. It's about you, your coaches, your teammates, your scheme, and your will to win.
You know, Jake, I was going to end this by asking you about what would you define as the perfect culture, I guess, for a college football team, but I feel like what you just said sort of did. So that mindset is the culture. That's it. So Jake, I appreciate you, man. And again, we're going to get a lot more the next couple of weeks into Georgia State, because just mentioning South Alabama and the expectation to win, we all know, anybody who knows who Sean Elliott is knows Georgia State is coming to win. Hey, you know, Auburn last year.
Chris.
Right.
Beat Auburn last year. TJ Finley pulled a rabbit out of his hat late. Or Brian Harston wouldn't be at Auburn. He loses that game, he is fired. It's like they say, first place, you win a new Mercedes. Second place, you win a set of steak knives. Third place, you're fired.
Exactly. Jake, always a pleasure, my man. Every Friday, 12:15 until Jake Crane of the Crane & Company. Let people know again about the new Drive Time show, by the way, where they can check that out.
Yeah, man. We're really excited. We're going to start going live on YouTube, on thedailywire.com from 7:30 to 9 Eastern. We're talking a ton of college football. We've got Cole Kubelik lined up. Going to get you on, Chris. Talking some NFL as well. We're really excited. We're going to have our Sunday recap. That's going to start recapping everything, all the big stories in college football Sunday morning with the NFL preview and bets, baby. Got a new deal with DraftKings. We're huge on the betting. I love betting Mac. I love betting Sunbelt. We're going to have a good time. So if you like guys talking ball, kind of a sports bar vibe, come check us out, man. There's a lot of similarities with me and you, Chris. We like to have a good time, and we don't sugarcoat it. It is what it is.
Are you a take your pick guy or fade your pick guy? Where do you fall on that? Depend on the season, depend on the sport, what?
Listen, I just gave a whole spiel about believing in yourself. So I'm a take your pick guy. I feel, last year we absolutely murdered it in college football. We were at about 63%, somewhere around there.
Really
and my brother and Cone, obviously they know it. Cone played at Michigan, was on that team that Armani Edwards beat when he was at App State. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. We'll throw a lot of bets out there and look, see where it lays.
Love it. Jake Crane at Crane & Company. Jake, looking forward to it every Friday, my friend. Y'all have a great show today.
All right, Spurs up, baby. Holler at you later.
Spurs up. Take care, man. Great stuff from Jake Crane, as always. Beautiful. Guys, we're continuing along here on the Daily Crow on this Friday, August the 19th, 2022. Your comments, your calls, as well as long as the Muschamp Packers don't infiltrate the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Would love to hear your feedback. Would love to hear your thoughts. Again, I love it, man. Jake Crane always brings the heat on TDC. And that's why I love having him on, man. Honestly, that's why I love having him on. Zach Attack says, Jake Muschamp Hackers. It's 12:45 here on this Friday. We're going to jump into a quick break, but I want to continue to hear from you more of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Of course, you can see, guys, not our normal setup because we are on the road. We were in Augusta, Georgia last night and really spending one final weekend on the home front before kickoff gets here. I want to say appreciate our good friend Jake Crane of Crane & Company jumping on the show today. He'll be with us every single Friday, 12:15 to around 12:45 or so. Always an electric conversation with him. I'm so ready, by the way, for kickoff to get here because finally then maybe you guys will stop ragging him so badly on his 5 and 7 pick. But maybe not, because you know what? As we win ball games, we're going to have to give him hell, right? So either way, though, he always brings the heat. Appreciate Jake. Really, really good stuff. Again, we want to hear from you, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Austin, what's up, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. My dude. Justin Langford says, hopefully we bring back the Easton Bats. I hear you, my guy. Why not? Bring Easton back. Make it great again. Make Easton great again. Jonathan Lee says, let's get back to talking recruiting since that's the lifeblood of the program. Who do you think, and anyone else in the chat room? Next, welcome home. Thinking we stay with defense, liking to add Hardy to that D-tackle position. Yeah, it could be Hardy. Yeah. How about Nicholas Harbor? Why not? I don't know who the next guy will be, but I can tell you guys this again. Gamecocks right now sitting, I believe, 17th in recruiting, which is a good spot. I mean, listen, it's a really, really good spot. And you look at, let's see, where we're projected to land, right? We're projected to land. I love what Shane Beamer's doing on the recruiting trail. Yeah, 17th overall right now, 8 4-stars, 10 3-stars. You're creeping ever so close to that blue chip ratio spot, that 50% mark that you need to hit. And listen, you guys can get upset and continue to get all pissy all you want, but blue chip ratio is important. I mean, it is. I mean, you look at a class like Florida, 18 4-stars and 2 3-stars right now out of 20 commitments. That wins you games and puts you in a position to win national titles. LSU, 16 4-stars, 5 3-stars. You look at Bama, 4 5s, 12 4s, 3 3s. You look at Texas, 3 5s, 13 3s. That puts you in a position to win big-time games. Georgia, 13 4s and 1 5. Clemson, 15 4s and 2 5s. So getting to numbers like that is very important. Hey, by the way, shout out to all of you out there. Happy game day to all of those across the state of South Carolina, all my high school football fans. Happy game day to you all. I know many of you have waited for this day for quite a while. So, really excited. I'll actually be at a high school game tonight, not to disclose my location, but you guys, whatever, it's all good. I think we're going to head to the North Augusta Evans football game tonight. That's in Evans, Georgia. So, going to be a lot of fun. I'll be heading up to Columbia tomorrow. Anybody going to be at the Gamecock Central kickoff party? I can't make any promises. I'm not sure that I will be stopping by, but we'll be in Columbia tomorrow. Got to meet up with somebody for something. And, going to be a lot of fun. So maybe you will see me at the Gamecock Central party tomorrow. Like I said, I cannot make any promises on that. I don't think it starts till like 4 o'clock, right? I don't think it starts till like 4 o'clock. So, we'll see. It just depends on how the schedule lines up for me. Might hang around Columbia for a little bit, but not 110% sure. Let's see. 7:30 kickoff, Daddy O says. Jonathan Lee says Greenwood High. Go Eagles. Yeah, go Jackets. Trying to see if there's any North Augusta stuff in here. I guess not. Chase Orban, we've had 4 different 4-stars start at quarterback, yet our best quarterbacks are still 2 and 3s, and Connor Shaw and Dylan Thompson. Well, Chase, you can blame development for that. I think a lot of that goes to development. Hopefully now, with Shane Beamer, we're going to see some of these guys really start to pan out. Chase, I understand where you're coming from on that argument. And I understand people saying, well, our best players ever were 3-stars, but we also got the Gilmores of the world, the Alshons, the Lattimores, the Clownies. Like you need those big-time players. Travis says, head to the Grand Strand tomorrow. Ready for some football. I hear you. Me too. Breaking. What's up, man? Says, how are things? Breaking. Things are well. Things are well, man. Just having a Friday. TGIF. Again, anybody want to call in, taking your questions, comments, calls. Phone lines have been a little slow over the last couple of days. I guess yesterday they were pretty busy. Yesterday our phone lines actually were pretty busy. So, guys, also get your merch. You see I'm rocking it. tsus.store. You've still got about a week, 6 days to order your merch for guaranteed by delivery by kickoff. Guaranteed by kickoff delivery, if you will. So you've got time still, not a lot of time, but if you're trying to get Beamer Ball, Beamer Rattler, anything else in our store, QB1, anything else in our store, your towels, guys, towels are in stock. If you're trying to get towels, tsus.store. Again, that is the way to go there. So, again, guys, I want to say thank you to Tim Hill. I want to say thank you to Tim Hill for having me on his show. I've been seeing him post some clips today, both on YouTube and on social media. So really, really good stuff there. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun seeing Gamecock Nation come together and seeing different Gamecock content creators and seeing different Gamecock entities, if you will. Just seeing that happen, right? Because I've told you guys before, you know, we are very blessed, right, when it comes to the amount of content we get in regards to as us being Gamecock fans, right? The sheer amount of content that we have to choose from, right? Because there are so many talented creators out there. And so to see all these collabs, I love it, man. I love these collabs. I love having JC Sherbert on. I love having Tim Hill on. I love having Jake on, all of our guests. Of course, Garcia. We're going to get Alex McGrath on Tuesdays. Anthony Treesh of Pro Football Focus on Wednesdays. Going to be a lot of fun. So, and yeah, Travi, I love what Jake Crane said as well. About, you know, we should be upset. We should have high expectations. We should expect to win football games. So, listen, Jake Crane means well, guys. It's you make a prediction, you lock it in. It is what it is, and then you see what happens. I promise you, Jake is not pulling for the Gamecocks to go 5-7. But you just lock in a prediction. Hey, if Mississippi State fans cared about my prediction for them, they would hate me for it because I've got them going 5-7, I think. So it is what it is, man. You got to make predictions. Somebody's got to have a bad season. When you make predictions, somebody's got to have a bad season, bottom line. Chase Horvin says, Chris, you stay dripped out for no reason. How much is Beamer Rattler shirt? $29.99. Just like all the other T-shirts, $29.99. So, Jeff Gullidge, yeah, I agree. We are getting big-time guys with Beamer now. Yeah, like I said, I think Shane Beamer is doing everything correctly on the recruiting trail. I think he's doing everything correctly. So, yeah, I think he's doing everything correctly. So, there's nothing I see where, well, man, we're really struggling in recruiting. I think he's doing well in it for sure. I think he's doing well in it. Again, guys, 843-790-3377 as we go into the weekend. Guys, I'm going to post, by the way, I'm going to post this link in this chat. If you have not joined yet, our runyourpool.com pool, guys, it's free for you to join. Here's what we're doing. We are picking each and every single game against the spread. Every SEC game, I should say. Every SEC game against the spread this season. Okay? It is free. It is free for you all to join. Okay? Winner of the pool receives a $150 gift card to Fanatics, which in turn you can use really for anything, but I think the point is to use it for a custom South Carolina jersey. So I just posted the link all across social media here in the chat. So you guys, it takes 2 seconds to join. Join today. Going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to pick these games. And it goes in, like I said, really well, guys, with our SEC gambling picks. It goes really well with our SEC gambling picks. We'll be keeping up with the record and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun, man. And we can compete against each other. Going to be a ton of fun, like I said. So, anyways, appreciate y'all, man. Always showing love, always showing support. Let's see. Daddy O, let's jump back to the question. It says, when the NIL deals are basically equal money between schools, a kid's going to pick the best fit and most likable coaching staff. So, Daddy O, you're saying that – so I see that comment. Is there a comment that I'm missing? Because are you saying that every school should pay the same exact amount in NIL? Is that what you're saying? Like, what are you saying, Daddy O? I'd love for you to expand on that point you just made. John, what's up, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, John, tomorrow I will run the first promo for the TSUS tailgate. I'll run the first promo tomorrow. Just letting everybody know, getting everybody fired up. Really excited to get back out at Seawells, man. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a legendary time. Guys, if you're tuning in the Daily Crow, if you're going to be at any games this season, you have to stop by Seawells. I mean, it is a legendary time. Absolutely legendary time. Okay. Legendary time. So, highly, highly suggest you stop by, you check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. A ton of fun. Let's see. Breakin says, how about a cap on it, the NIL? You just what I fear, Breaking, is you've opened Pandora's box. You've let the genie out of the bottle. Is there any going back? You know. Somebody texts in, did you see the news about Marcelo Zuna getting arrested for DUI? Yeah, I did. It's unfortunate, man. It's just stupid. Just stupid. I mean, there's just no other place. Just stupid, bro. It's like 4:30 in the morning too, I think. Just crazy, man. Oh, okay, Daddy-O says, no, I would just take less money if the deals are fairly close in value to be under the staff I like the best. No, Daddy-O, I think that's a great point. Listen, kids still better go to schools where they like the coaching staff, they fit in with the culture, the system works for them, and they can play. Because guess what, guys? You're not getting money, you're not getting NIL deals if you're sitting the bench. You're not getting NIL deals if you're not playing. The guys who start and are all conference performers and all everything, those guys will play. Or excuse me, those guys will get paid. The guys who play will get paid. The guys who sit the bench will not. So you better still go somewhere. Those things better still be top priority. Because if you go somewhere where they're not, and you're not a good fit, and in turn you're not playing, you're not seeing the field, well, guess what? You're not reaping the benefits. You're not getting any of that NIL stuff. I mean, guys, I could go in right now on it. I could go in right now on it on you know, there's guys on our roster. There's guys on every roster, right? Guys on every roster that are just, they're not playing. So hard to get an NIL deal when when you're not seeing the field, bottom line. Guys, in the Big Cock Club Discord, over the TDC Questions channel, by the way, somebody posted these welcome home segments, these shows, they are actually being uploaded to YouTube. So for any of you who have missed, episode 1 was just uploaded about an hour ago. Okay? These are getting uploaded. The Welcome Home South Carolina football series, it is being uploaded to YouTube. I know many people have been asking about, well, where can I catch it if I haven't watched it? Well, now they've got them on YouTube. So let's see. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, maybe now that they're on YouTube, we can actually like see the last like bits of segments of them. Right? I just posted a link for you there, Daddy-O. It's on the actual University of South Carolina YouTube feed. University of South Carolina YouTube page. So that's where you can find it. I just posted the link for you, though. Again, guys, we're here taking your questions, comments, calls into hour 2 on this Friday. Hey, guys, by the way, podcast dropped this morning. Podcast did drop this morning. Episode 691 of the podcast. Episode 691. I got to get it up on the website. Somehow, some way, I did not get to that this morning, which is crazy. I know we've been going 1,000 miles an hour. But the podcast did drop this morning, episode 691, breaking down the Gamecocks tight ends heading into the 2022 football season. Austin Greer says TSUS Fantasy League, $100 buy-in. That's something I might be interested in. I will say this often. We're already doing a big Cot Club Fantasy League, and I'm already in another Pick'em League, so it's kind of like, how many leagues do I really want to do? $100 buy-in. Do you think we could find 12 people to do a $100 buy-in? I'd be down to do that, and first place gets 800, second gets 200, and then – no, excuse me. First place gets 900, second place gets 200, and then third place just gets their money back. Travis says, I'll say this, if our team was half as good as our media team, we'd be winning natties. I hear you, my guy. Yep. Media team crushes. The media team absolutely crushes. I will say that. They do. The media team absolutely crushes. Let's see. Nick Renfro says, all right, you guys just stay tuned. We might do it. You guys just stay tuned. Again, guys, podcast, podcast dropped this morning. Excited for high school football to be back, man. Excited for all the high school fans out there, all the high school football fans. Hope y'all have fun tonight at y'all's whatever game y'all might be going to. Travie, hell of a job by our media guys. It's a small part of being great. No, dude, they crush. I mean, they absolutely crush. They absolutely crush. Thank goodness for Justin King and that team. I mean, they make South Carolina look really cool, really good. I mean, that's what a lot of it comes down to, man. That's what recruits want to see. And, yeah, I mean, you love to see it. You love to see it. So, let's see. Justin Mulligan says, what's a South Carolina player that was overrated and one that was underrated? People are going to get their feelings hurt, Justin. Underrated. I mean, there's so many that are underrated. I think Corey Boyd was underrated. Brandon Wiles was underrated. Kenny Miles was underrated. Chris Lamons was underrated. There's a lot. Honestly, there's a lot. Overrated, I won't even go into that, man. I don't want to hurt feelings on a Friday. Let's talk the show today. Who else is excited to watch Jaheim Bell this season? And I know a lot of folks were or have been, disgruntled about, well, where's Jaheim on the preseason? Where's Jaheim Bell on the preseason all-conference team? Like, what, disrespect. My biggest thing with Jaheim Bell is this, and I understand why he's not on those lists. I want to see Jaheim Bell do it on a week-in, week-out basis. That is top priority for Jaheim Bell. Nobody will question his athleticism. Nobody will question his ability. Nobody will question his potential. It's just simply put, can he be a week-in, week-out contributor at that level that we saw, for example, in the bowl game every single week against the best competition? That's the question for Jaheim Bell. He's got all the talent in the world. And how does the offense use him, right? A lot of that falls on Satterfield. Because I think a lot of us would agree, like, why did Jaheim Bell disappear for weeks on end, right? Why was he not used more often? I mean, there were spells where we'd go 3-4 games. I felt like I wouldn't even hear his name. That can't happen this year. Jaheim Bell has to be touching the football every week. Has to be touching the football every week. Force it to him if you got to. He's got to be touching the football, whether it be in the backfield, Whether it be at tight end, whether it be wide receiver, I don't care if you put him in the freaking Wildcat. Get Jaheim Bell the football. But what does that look like? What does he look like as a contributor, as a playmaker, week in, week out? The consistency factor, that's what I want to see from Jaheim Bell this season. Because, again, he's got all the potential. He's got all the talent. And I do believe, Jeff, like you mentioned, Stogg is sort of the forgotten guy. I think Stogg is the forgotten guy of the room because, he wasn't on campus for spring ball, right? So many folks don't think of him first. I think he's going to be a big-time contributor for us, man. Big-time contributor. Spencer Rattler throwing up clips from the scrimmage. I'm surprised they don't mind him doing this. I'm really surprised they don't mind him doing this, but whatever. I love it. What we're talking about is Spencer Rattler on his Instagram. Put up clips from the last scrimmage. Him throwing some darts, too, so. Can't wait to see it in an actual game, man. Can't wait to see it in an actual game. It's going to be cool. Tommy Wallace, what's wrong with CBS? Seen him on a scooter at practice. Tommy, with CBS, I just think he tweaked something in the ankle. Everything we've heard, he should be fine. That's from everything we've heard. So, should be fine. I don't know. J-Rock, I'm excited to see Bell ball out this year, and he can, as long as they scheme to get in the ball. That failed to happen last year. Yeah, it's funny. Our fans, throw it to the tight end more. Our fans love that. Coach Beamer, throw it to the tight end more. Throw it to the tight end. We have an obsession. Why? I would pose that question. Why do we have, as a fan base, have such an obsession with throwing the ball to the tight end? I mean, I know we've had some damn good ones. Don't get me wrong. I know we've had some damn good ones. But the answer to every problem for our fan base is throw it to the tight end. Coach Beamer, have you tried throwing it to the tight end more? Just throw it to the tight end. We'll score. Throw it to the tight end. We'll move the ball. I mean, it's very admirable, but it's become part of, our fan base. It's ingrained in our fan base. Throwing the ball to the tight end. I love it. But this is the year, honestly, where throwing to the tight end a lot more would make a lot of sense when you got the kind of guys you've got. When you got the kind of guys you got at that position. Justin just says we like to see big men running. Well, Justin, if you like to see big men running, just go down to your local YMCA. I'm sure you can see a lot of big men running. Just saying. Well, Jeff, I understand the technicalities of the matchups, and who's going to cover Jaheim Bell, right? Who's going to cover Jaheim Bell? I'm just saying it's kind of funny how that's always our ace in the hole, right? Our ace in the hole is always throw the ball to the tight end. I love it. Honestly, I love it. We stick to our guns. We are true to ourselves. Robbie Davis chiming in the chat. He says, I'm gonna read this exactly as he typed it. How we do it, just go win Gamecocks. Just win, go Gamecocks. How we do it, just win, go Gamecocks. I think Robbie meant to say, I don't care how we do it, just win. Age of Hours, go to your local family get-together, and you'll see a lot of big men running when the food's ready. Luke RJ says, people say that because when we do throw it to the tight ends, they make big plays every time. Fair enough. Luke. John, Robbie is not called in yet, but he's going to have to wait till the other side of the break because we are going to jump into one, taking more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Hey, test. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Test, test, test. Can you hear me? Test, test. Can you hear audio? Audio. Are we good on the audio side? Somebody let me know ASAP. Somebody let me know. Audio. Audio side. Audio. Audio on the Daily Crow. On the Crow. Can anybody hear me? Good? Yeah. Okay. I'm an idiot. All right. That's the first thing. Because you know why the audio wasn't working with this new camera? Because I was adding a camera instead of just changing the camera settings. So I don't know if does this look any different to y'all? It should. It's a lot clearer. Yeah, so this is our Logitech camera instead of our other 4K camera. So this one shouldn't do all the craziness of the refocusing and all that crap. So do I look any different? I don't know. I mean, it should look a little bit crisper, a little bit clearer. I value y'all's feedback, so y'all let me know what you think. Jeff Gullidge says, I saw it early this week, but have you seen Florida games leading up to our game? LSU, Georgia, A&M, than us. That's brutal. Sucks to suck. It does suck to suck, Jeff. You are right. It sucks to suck, and I don't feel bad for him, my guy. I don't feel bad for him. Sucks to suck, and I don't feel bad for you. Sucks to suck, and I don't feel bad for you. That Florida game's interesting this year, though, man, because I feel like so many people in our fan base are just checking that game off as an easy dub. Like, dude, nothing's easy. We know that nothing's easy, right? We know nothing's easy. So it's scary. It's scary how quick people are to just check that off as a W. But and again, I'm not. We talked about this when we did the opponent preview stuff. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we are looking at Florida a lot very similarly how Florida looked at us last year, where it's like, oh, that team's got a first-year coach. They stink. The roster's not good. And then we kick their ass. I'm not saying that's going to happen this year. I'm just saying, like, you never know, right? I don't look at Florida as some kick-in win. We're just gonna go into the swamp and beat them by 30 and come home. Like, it's going to be a tough game for sure. Cocky Talk says, will you do watch parties this year? Yes. This season, I'm either going to be at Willie B or at a Carolina Ale House somewhere. So I'll be finalizing the schedule this weekend, guys. I'll be finalizing the schedule. The only one that's really up in the air is my sister gets married October the 8th, which is the Kentucky game. So I've just got to figure out, do I just want to throw and promote a watch party somewhere? And obviously I will not be at that watch party. Or do I want to try to swing Augusta? A lot of it's going to depend on kickoff time for that. So I've just got to figure out the dates, run the dates by Ale House. But the dates in my mind that I'm pretty confident in right now are as follows. I'll say this first before I say that. I'm excited, guys. Next Thursday, we're at Woodruff Road for the TSUS Tour. Woodruff Road in Greenville, South Carolina. So we're back in the upstate, back in Greenville. Let's jump to the phone lines. I'm excited to see that.
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk Herbstreit.
To accept, press.
Robbie, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. By the way, whenever I noticed I messed up the message, I resent it.
No, you're fine, my guy. You're good. No biggie. I just like giving you crap.
Oh, hey, like I tell my friends all the time, if I don't pick at you or make fun of you or try to make you laugh, that means I don't love you. But if I pick at you, that means I love you.
Exactly.
But I do think, obviously, it will be difficult to play at Florida, okay? I mean, it's called the swamp for a reason, okay? But, yes, I do think that it will be almost like we're playing ourselves from last year, right? New coach, new coaching philosophy or what have you. But I do think that we are better than Florida. Not just from what happened last year, but from what we've gained in the recruiting and the transfer portal. I think we're better than Florida. And I just feel like we'll go into Florida and take care of business. Again, except we won't be in Willie B. We'll be in the swamp, and we'll take care of business and leave out of Gainesville with a W.
Yeah, I've also picked it as a win. I think South Carolina will get the job done. I'll tell you this, man. Carolina's got to be a lot better on the road this year to have a good season. We got to be a lot better on the road because we got some big games on the road that we need to win to have a chance at a good year, right? I mean, you think about it: at Arkansas,
and
at Kentucky,
early,
at Florida, obviously
right.
at Vandy's a no-brainer, then at Clemson. So,
right, and we'll definitely find out how we handle a road atmosphere in week 2 because we're playing at Arkansas.
Yeah, it'll be rocking.
Okay?
Arkansas fans are ruthless, man. I've heard from multiple athletes.
Will come in there ready to play. I guarantee.
I've heard from multiple athletes across multiple sports, man. You know, they always ask about I always ask them about, you know, what were the toughest fans. And a lot of them say Arkansas, man. A lot of them say Arkansas. So.
Yeah. And I just, you know, I mean, I feel like we'll really see how this team reacts to adversity this year because of the games that we have that are away games. Mm-hmm. We got to go to Arkansas. We have to travel to A&M. And we have to travel to the swamp. And, of course, we got to travel to the fake Death Valley over there in Clemsucksville.
Robbie, have you ever been to a Carolina-Clemson game in Clemson?
No, but I have been to a Clemson game whenever they played NC State several years back.
How'd you get through that? How'd you get through that?
Well, let's see. First, I tried to get my way out of it, because we were playing Missouri that day, and I told my aunt and uncle, I was like, look, because I was staying with them at the time, and I was like, look, I'll be fine. I got food here to eat. I have y'all's phone number. I know the number to dial 911, obviously. If something goes awry, I'll be fine. But they weren't having it. So I was basically forced to go to the fake Death Valley and sit for 3 hours and watch a team that I hated play against NC State.
Right.
And I was like, and I don't trust me, I was not happy. The whole way home, I was pissed. Because my uncle and at the time he was my soon-to-be brother-in-law, or soon-to-be cousin-in-law, and they were like saying fake scores and everything. And I'm the kind of person, if I miss a Carolina game, I do not want to know what the score is whatsoever. I don't want to know.
So you like DVR it and watch it back later.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so hard. You think about it, bro, like how impossible it is to do that now. Like if I was just like, hey, Carolina, Kentucky, if I was like, hey, South Carolina, Kentucky, I got my sister's wedding, I don't want to watch the game, know the score, anything.
I'll be in Myrtle Beach that weekend.
I was just going to say, we might have to do the watch party at Myrtle Beach, except I won't be there. But if I was like, all right, guys, I got my sister's wedding. I don't want to know what happens in the Kentucky game. I don't want to hear anything. I'm going to watch it Sunday. There's no way I could make it to Sunday without knowing what happened. There's just no way. Somebody would spoil it. I'd have to be put in like a room, like solitary confinement, like no interaction with anybody. There's just no, like my phone would have to be cut off. There's no way somebody wouldn't blow it. There's no way. No way.
Right. Well, I'm kind of hoping that the game against Kentucky is a nighter, because I'll be busy at that men's conference that weekend from Friday up until Saturday, but I'm staying till Sunday. But I'm just that kind of person. Like, I don't want to know I don't know what's going on. I don't want to know anything. Like, don't tell me anything. And
Yeah.
they do it because and my family does it because they know it pisses me off, and that really hurts my nerves.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, as long as the game's not middle of the day, I'm Gucci. I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
Give me noon or give me 7. I'm down with either.
Yeah. I would be okay with noon or 7. I mean, I was keeping up with the game against Tennessee while I was in Myrtle Beach, but I would rather it be. I'd rather it be at 7 because by then I'll be back.
And you're going to be at the South Carolina State game, correct?
I will be present and accounted for, screaming my lungs out.
Are you going to stop by the old TSUS tailgate at Seawells?
That is the plan. That is the plan. I will do whatever I need to make that happen.
And will Yuncle Boudreaux be with you?
That depends.
Or Marion? Or Marion will be with you?
Marion might be with me, but my dad, he might be having a show. He might he might wind up having comedy shows on the regular starting next month.
Love that.
So I'll definitely be at a game with my stepdad. That's
right. Yeah, Marion's good people. Excited to see you and Marion there. Hey, why don't you want a 4:00 kickoff, Robbie? You wouldn't want a 4:00 kickoff?
I'd be
for Kentucky.
I'd be okay with 4:00
with Kentucky.
As long as it ain't at noon, I'd be okay with 4:00. Either 7, 7:30, or 4. But I feel like it's going to probably wind up being either a 3:30 kick for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like it's going to wind up being a 3:30 kick, which I would be okay with that to an extent, but I'd rather it be at like 7.
Yeah, we've played. I think the last time we played a day game in Lexington was 2008. All the rest since then, 2010 on, they've all been night games. So it would not shock me at all if it's like a 7 or 7:30 kick. So we'll see. If it is, I'll be at the reception at my sister's wedding, just streaming it on my phone, I guess, or something. I'm on game plan. I mean, listen, I'm gonna enjoy the reception to the highest of levels I can, but I'm be like, listen, I got my MacBook. I'm cutting the game on. Like, I'm sorry, I got to do what I got to do. I mean, it ain't like I'm just. It ain't like I'm just. It's not like I'm just trying to be that guy at the wedding. Like, I'm a huge fan. It's like, well, this is kind of my job, so.
Right.
You know.
You're making money.
It's a beautiful excuse, too. I love that. I love that. That's the excuse. You know. I have a legitimate excuse.
I hate it whenever we have noon. I honestly kind of hate it whenever we have noon games, because then once our game is over, what the hang else am I supposed to do? Watch teams.
Watch other ball, man. You don't like watching other games? Hey, Robbie, that day. I don't know if you know this. That day is Texas A&M and Alabama, 8:00 at night.
Ooh. And I'll probably be pulling for Alabama. If I had to choose, I'd probably be pulling for Alabama.
Any reason why?
Because I can't stand Texas A&M because they beat our ass the last 8 years or 9 years. So I mean. I'll definitely try to keep up with the Kentucky game since I'll be in Myrtle Beach, or as some people call it, Dirty Myrtle. But
Some folks would call it Dirty Myrtle. That is fact.
Yeah. But that'll probably be the only. If I wind up missing it, when I get home that Sunday, I'll probably watch it. Because I'll probably only see a little bit of it, depending on what time the game starts. What I'll probably do is keep up with it on my phone and then watch it when I get back home and then give you my analysis on that Monday.
And I can't wait to hear your analysis, Robbie Davis. I cannot wait to hear it all season long.
And trust me. Last year, the way I gave my analysis was through text message.
This year, it's the calls. We are in for a treat because you will will drive to Cola and help Marcus Satterfield move his shit out of town if we don't score some points this year.
If we don't average a certain amount of points.
What's the average? What's the number? What's the number for Robbie Davis?
If we don't average 30 to 35 points a game, he's got to go. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. If we don't average 30 to 35 points per game, Robbie Davis is driving down to Columbia or up to Columbia, I guess I should say.
And
moving his shit.
Driving. I'll find a way to get to Columbia, but I'll help him pack his crap. That I can promise you. And Beamer don't even have to pay me. I'll do it for free.
I love it.
I will help him pack his crap and get him out of Cola.
Robbie will do what is necessary for the greater good of Carolina football.
Yeah. I will. 100%. So, yeah, I will definitely do whatever I need to make sure that Satterfield's doing his job and doing it correctly. Because if you're getting paid as much as he's getting paid, and that goes with anybody, if you're getting paid as much as he's getting paid, you can't have a crappy offense. Quite positive he's getting paid a pretty penny.
I just wish Beamer would hit you up for some pregame speeches, my guy.
Do what?
I wish Beamer would hit you up for some pregame speeches.
Oh, I'll do it. I would do it.
For free?
Yeah, I don't care.
For the free?
Hey, as long as, I'll tell you what, I'll do it. If I get a free meal out of it, I'll do it right now.
Robbie, Robbie, you know there's going to be food at the Seawell's tailgate with your name on it. I'm not even joking. Yeah. I'm not even joking.
Hey, I'll make sure we show it. I'll make sure I show up.
You and Coach Ford can ride up to pack Satterfield's shit.
Oh man. But yeah, I will definitely, like I said, whenever I get into Cola for the state game, and just to clarify, I mean South Carolina State, okay?
Not Georgia State.
I will definitely.
Not Georgia State.
Not Georgia State. Not Georgia State. The South Carolina State Bulldogs. But if I wind up for some reason trying or going to the opener, I'll hit you up for both of them.
$18 tickets available now, my guy. Let me know. Let us know if you come.
Oh yeah,
and definitely come by Seawell's if you do.
Oh, you'll spot me. I'll make sure. I'll be sure to. Because I remember what you look like, and you know what I look like. And we've been around each other to know what we look like. So.
Yeah, my boy John Rice will be out there. He gonna be drunk as a skunk. About to get you drunk as a skunk too, Robbie.
Hey! According to my dad, I walk straighter when I'm drunk.
Okay.
Because I have cerebral palsy, so according to my dad, I walk straighter when I'm drunk. But
let's put that theory to the test, I say. What happens at Seawells stays at Seawells.
what happened? Hey, just like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in Seawell stays in Seawell.
Big facts.
So I honestly I wanted to go by your tailgate last year, but I knew where it was. I just didn't know how to get there. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense. You knew where it was, but didn't know how to get there. That's a conundrum to be in, my friend.
Game, as soon as I get into Cola and I'm anywhere near Willie B, I will shoot you a message.
Beautiful.
And
I
then
can't
we'll
wait.
go from there.
Can't wait.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna jump over here. My nephew's trying to run me over with his Gator vehicle doohickey, so I'm gonna get over here before he runs me over.
Beautiful. Robbie, you have a constitutional day, my friend. I appreciate you calling in as always. Always a pleasure. Take care. Tell Yunka Boudreaux I said hello.
All right, man. You have a great rest of your day, and go Gamecocks, and the heck with them purple pants wearing losers. Bunch of farming losers. Level 10 weenies, not level 7, level 10 weenies. Bunch of level 10 weenies. Bunch of farming good for nothing losers. All right, buddy.
You the man, Robbie.
I will talk to you Monday, and I can't wait until October the 1st.
Gonna be a blast. Robbie, be good. I'll leave the dumb stuff to you, my guy.
All right, as always, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. Leave the dumb stuff to me. All right, bye-bye.
You the man. Take care. And in case you don't realize why I said that, Robbie always says, he says, don't do anything crazy. Just leave the dumb stuff to me. So we always allow Robbie to shoulder that burden. For the free Cocky Talk must be well versed in the TikTok game. I can't give it to you for the free. I don't even know you. Yeah, it was about a 16-minute call. We haven't had Robbie Davis in a while, so we had to catch up with Robbie. So, yeah, how about that? The fact that Harbor's visiting the day we play Georgia, great opportunity. I mean, you want him on campus for big games. You do. You want him on campus for big games. You don't want to shy away from that, right? Like that'll be a great opportunity. Michael Sawyer, though, to your point, Michael Sawyer, I think you'd be surprised how little on-field result matters. I will say this, obviously. I mean, if you get your brains beat in by Georgia, bad thing, very bad thing in regards to your recruiting efforts for Harbor. But as long as you're competitive in the game and you're competitive in the game late, right, and you're able to sustain that atmosphere, that energy inside Williams-Brice Stadium, it's that will bring a guy like Harbor home. It's that'll bring a guy like Harbor to Columbia, right? That's what you can sell to him. Like, hey, we got it all here. We just need a guy like you. We just need a puzzle piece like yourself to make it all happen. So I'm glad Harbor's getting in the building for Georgia. I'm glad he's going to see this atmosphere at its best. Because I don't give a damn if the game's at noon, 3:30, 7, played at 9 a.m. for all I care. Willie B will be jumping. Willie B will be jumping. Guys, we're rocking and rolling. We're going to jump into one final break. I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Final 10 minutes or so here in the Daily Crow, taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. My guy David Garrick tried to call in over the break. Dave, if you'd like to call back in, you're more than welcome to do so. Marion says, hopefully we can get a Harbor chant going at Willie B. Marion, I got to be honest with you, man. After the whole Oscar Delp thing, I'm kind of over, like, just selling out on getting one player. You know what I mean? Like, let our coaching staff recruit. Let our coaching staff communicate. Let them sell the program to him. We show up, show out, do our thing, support the guys on the field. I mean, obviously, just be great fans, as we always are. It's not like I'm going to be mad if there's a chant that happens, but it's like, at what, like, I don't know, man. The whole Oscar Delp thing just kind of made me, like, as cool as all that is, players are not going to schools because fans chant their name or something like that. And I let Beamer and all them do the heavy lifting. But I mean, again, if there's a Harbor chant, it is what it is. Whatever, it'd be cool. I'm sure he would feel special. I'm sure every fan base will do that for him. I mean, that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it, but whatever. If you want to do it, fine. Maybe that's something that'll get organized. But how about this? Instead of a Harbor chant, just go win the football game. That'd leave a lasting impression for sure. Guys, again, episode 691 of the podcast did drop. Episode 691 of the podcast dropped this morning. Position unit preview series. Rosal talking the Gamecocks. Tight ends. Throw it to the tight end. That's the summary of the show today. Throw it to the tight end. Paging Satterfield. Throw it to the tight end more. Tight end to win, as they say. Tight end to win. Throw it to the tight end. That's it. Jeff, what position will Harbor play? He's listed as an athlete. I don't even know, bro, but he's a freak. That's all I know. I mean, JC was talking about he's an Olympian dude, 6'5", 2 something, whatever. Hey, he's a freak, man. I have no clue what position. Let's get Harbor to commit, then we can start talking about positions and where we project him. I don't know, though. I don't know what position he's going to play. Garrett H., do you happen to know the deadline to commit for the 2023 class? I mean, they've got a little while, dude. They got a little while. So, I mean, signing day is December, right? I mean, you can wait that long. Heck, you can wait into February. So, I don't have all the NCAA dates down right in front of me here, but they got a little bit. We still got a ways to go in this recruiting thing. Hey, guys, again, happy game day to all those on my high school football fans across the state of South Carolina. Right? Dude, you know what's so funny? This James Reynolds guy, who I don't know if he's tuned into TDC or not. I hope he is. I hope he could comment, because James Reynolds picked Carolina to win 10 games this year. And then he's in my replies going back and forth with Tim Hill talking about, we've presented a hypothetical that, like, Georgia State could beat Carolina. Crazy, right? And James Reynolds, after picking us to win 10 games, says, yeah, man, it's week 1. Anything can happen. Bro, you're picking us to go 10-2. Like, what? What? Yes, Jeff. Harbor's a track star, bro. He's probably going to – JC was pointing out he's probably going to be an Olympian in track. So, probably going to be an Olympian in track, my guy. So, he is a big-time dude. Big-time dude for sure. Anyways, guys, a couple minutes left to go. Like I said, man, this is really right now, these next 2 weekends, it's the calm before the sand storm. The Shane storm. Nah, it's the calm before the storm, man. Just a couple of weekends left. Just 2 more weekends left without Carolina football. I will be taking time again this weekend to, we're staying after, but relax a little bit here with family right now. Going to enjoy tonight. Going to enjoy a little bit of tomorrow. Going to be in Columbia tomorrow. Next weekend, we'll be back on the road, hitting the old Savannah, Georgia, to hang out with the boys. Very, very excited to hang out with those ghouls and just have us a good time and watch some week 0 football and all that. Guys, want to say again, want to take these last 5 minutes to just say thank you again, express gratitude. Today, by the way, I will be getting out. I know Luke RJ is probably wondering when. Today, I'll be getting out the latest Behind the Beat, and it's a little bit different. It's going to be a really quick, honestly, Behind the Beat, like 5 minutes or so, because I just really wanted to take a moment. You know, we stay so wrapped up in the madness and the content and the events, and that's all great, right? It's all great, but I wanted to take a moment today on this Behind the Beat to just express gratitude and just take a moment of stillness, of peace, of calmness, if you will. And so that's what you'll see. That's what you'll see on the Behind the Beat. And I want to do that here as well. Again, just say thank you to you all. You know, thank you to you all. You know, every single day is a dream for me. I get to wake up and live the life I always dreamed and do things I love to do and fulfill my passions and my goals and just things that fuel me. You know, I get to fuel those things, right? And I put this in the Discord last night, I think it was, but I'll say it here. What makes all this so special, honestly, or just one of the many things that does, what's so cool about it is, like, you would think at some point, I mean, we produce, guys, you all know, we produced an immense amount of content, a wild amount of content, right? Like, content bleeding out the eyeballs is not just something we say, it's something we do. And you guys, every single day, show up and don't just consume the content, but banter, give feedback, show love every day on a daily basis, dude. That is so cool. You know what I mean? That's so cool. So I just want to say thank you to y'all. I mean, the podcast is rolling. Numbers are increasing as we get closer to kickoff, which is expected, but just awesome to see. The Daily Crow, of course, has just become its own thing, right? We've got guests on every day. You know, just incredible what TDC's turned into. Our community is growing, actively growing. The Big Cock Club community is actively growing. We have fantastic conversation and banter in there. Love that. Love that side of the business. Patreon.com/Big Cock Club if you want to join today and get access to that Discord. What else? I mean, just the content on social media. Social media continues to just blow up and do numbers. The merchandise, man, of course. I mean, you see me rocking it here, but the love and support we feel on the merchandise side, biggest game changer. That has been by far the biggest game changer for the business is the merchandise side. It's been unreal. I mean, it's just been unreal what we've done on the merchandise side. Excuse me. So, you know, I just say all that again to say thank y'all so much. I can't say thank you enough. And I've always tried to, if you go back and look at all these shows, all the content, I mean, I've really always tried to lead with gratitude and be grateful. I've always tried to do that, right? I try to live in a state of consciously, actively being grateful and having perspective. That's what leads me in life in a lot of different areas. And, you know, so I just can't say thanks enough and how much I appreciate it. Really, truly. It's awesome to see what we're doing. We are, I mean, and I'll say this, I love to share, I love to share my successes with you guys, right? Because it's our successes. I don't look at it as my successes, our successes. Without you guys, these successes wouldn't exist. We are set up, I'll tell you this, we are set up with the amount of, you know, just business partners we have, other partners we have. When you take everything into account on the business side, like we are set up going into this football season, it is undoubtedly going to be our most successful football season in so many different ways. And I feel like I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm confident to say that I will say that before every football season. But like I will say, guys, this season compared to last season, compared to the season, I mean, this season, this is, you know, I always say to myself, I'm in the midst of a positive breakthrough. I try to live in that mindset of like, I am in the midst of a positive breakthrough. This season as a whole is going to be a positive breakthrough for us. So, as the hat says, man, the joys and the journey, And we're still just 1% of the way. Really, I truly believe we're just getting started. And, yeah, man, it's going to be a blast. I mean, this season's going to be incredible. So 15 days, folks, till toe meets leather. 15 days till we're all back together at Williams-Brice Stadium, at Seawells. Going to be a blast. Guys, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Stay tuned to all the content bleeding out the eyeballs. Again, guys, thank you all so much for yet another successful week on the podcast, TDC, the merch, social media, and everything in between. Appreciate y'all, man. All my high school football fans, y'all enjoy it. Enjoy kickoff. Enjoy some football this weekend. Have a fantastic weekend. And we will talk to you on Monday.